Hey cadets, I'm Cadet Jeremiah Pignon.
And I'm Cadet Sarah Conroy, and this video is meant to serve as a guide on the experimental portion of the AFSC Preference Collection Questionnaire. The career field preferences you submit during the main portion of the questionnaire are official and will be used in the classification process. The questions that follow the official preference collection questions, however, are completely optional and do not affect the selection of your base assignments this year. As stated in the questionnaire, the following questions are for research purposes only and will help expand the classification process for future classes.
The Air Force Personnel Center, or AFPC, is testing a new line of thinking to improve the process for future cadets and wants to know what you think. These questions allow you to place preferences on your initial base assignments, as well as when you'd like to begin initial skills training, or IST.
For those of us in ROTC, your entry to active duty date, or EAD date, mostly depends on when you begin IST. Again, this section is optional and does not affect your career assignments in any way this year. You will officially rank base preferences later this year once you receive your assigned AFSC as a result of the classification process.
This section contains 6 questions and should take less than 5 minutes to complete. If you wish to participate, you only need to complete it once and AFPC will store your response. You may still return to this preference survey and resubmit only your AFSC preference questionnaire section without needing to complete this experimental base preference section again. All you need to do is select No here to skip this questionnaire if you've already submitted it once and don't wish to change it.
To summarize this section's train of thought, you are first asked to think about bases you'd like to be stationed at. You are then asked when you want to start IST. The next couple of questions ask how your base and IST preferences might depend on your career field preferences. Depending on your response to those questions, you could be asked to rank all 3 components, AFSC, base, and IST, all together. Finally, the last question simply asks for optional feedback.
The first 2 questions are straightforward. What base would you want to be assigned to? Yes, your base assignment will depend on what AFSC you are assigned to, but set that notion aside for a moment. If you could go anywhere, where would you want to go? These base preferences apply to the career fields that aren't locked into a specific training base or set of bases.
This question aims at discerning how your base preferences may depend on your AFSC outcome. You likely have a strong idea of what your top 3 career field preferences are, but what if AFPC can't match you to one of those career fields? Other factors like your base assignment or your IST start date may start to matter more.
This final preference question allows you to weigh these 3 components. Your weights would be scaled so they sum up to 100%, and they'd be applied in the event you cannot be matched to one of your preferred career field preferences. For example, if I put 100% on all 3 components, this translates to a weight of 33% on each. This means that my assigned AFSC, base location, and IST start date are equally important to me. In this case, you are effectively trading some of your importance from your AFSC assignment and giving it to bases or IST as you see fit.
To illustrate this idea, imagine you list 3 AFSC preferences: pilot, space ops, and acquisitions. You would be 100% happy with receiving your first AFSC, pilot. Your utility is therefore at 100%, and you derive all satisfaction from getting the AFSC you want. Similarly, in the job satisfaction question, you've indicated that you would be 90% satisfied with receiving your second choice. Again, all of that comes from the AFSC. Let's assume that for your third choice and beyond, you want your base and IST preferences to play a part in your overall satisfaction value. The utility value you put on acquisitions is 60, and half of that is now shared between getting the base you want and starting IST earlier. This is the experimental idea that AFPC is considering for future years, and your preferences would effectively generate these kinds of trade-offs.
We hope this video was useful in explaining this experimental section of the questionnaire. If you have any questions, please route those through your chain of command.